The city of San Diego could soon be taking a bigger bite out of your wallet.
These freshly painted yellow lines on the Mission Beach boardwalk are turning heads for all the wrong reasons. We'll tell you why people are doing a double take.
More backlash after Friday's ICE raid at a popular restaurant. Why they say what happened did nothing to make our community safer.
Pride flags are going up across San Diego County. Supporters say they're symbols of resistance and acceptance in our community.
Celebrating 60 years of performance, a Bonita Vista High School reunion for the ages.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Free parking at Balboa Park, the zoo, and at meters on Sundays may soon be coming to an end. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. The San Diego City Council has approved new changes that will cost you more to park at some of the city's iconic attractions. CBS 8's Alex Cheney joins us live with more on what's happening. Alex?
Carlo and Marcella, it is parking meters like these that have already doubled in price all across the city of San Diego. And now with new proposed changes last night, those fees could be going up even more. And reaction today was mixed. Parking may get even pricier in the city of San Diego. Last night, City Council approved a change to the municipal code that would allow the city to charge for parking at Balboa Park and the zoo, which before has never had a parking fee. People we talked to today weren't happy about it.
It definitely sucks. The zoo is a hard place to start charging for. It already costs enough to go to the zoo.
In February, the City Council voted to double parking at some city meters from $1.25 to $2.50 per hour, and now are proposing charging $10 an hour to park at metered spots during peak times around Petco Park, and will charge for metered parking citywide on Sundays for the first time.
I think it's a total bummer. I hate to see more and more fees as you come to San Diego. San Diego is pretty expensive already.
No, because that's not cool, because then it's going to be screwing over people who don't exactly make the kind of money that perhaps other people make.
Others we talked to were in favor of the fees, saying they will make people use different modes of transit.
And I think charging for parking will hopefully encourage people to take more alternate routes like buses or bikes.
Last month, we talked to council member Sean Elo Rivera, who last night proposed only charging non-residents for parking. He said if the zoo were to charge the same $20 rate as they do at the safari park to non-residents only, then both the zoo and the city could raise $15 to $20 million a year.
But at a certain point, I don't think it's unfair to ask folks who are coming to this city as visitors to chip in and contribute.
Elo Rivera went on to suggest a resident parking permit that would entitle people who actually live in the city of San Diego to some discounts. And as of right now, there is no set timetable for when those new parking fees will increase. But the city council will finalize balancing the budget next Tuesday. Reporting live from the Gaslamp District, I'm Alex Cheney, CBS 8.
Thank you, Alex. And we're learning new details tonight about why a popular Italian restaurant in South Park was targeted by ICE agents last week.
Search warrants obtained by CBS 8 show Buona Forchetta has been on ICE's radar for the past 5 years. Homeland Security says they were first tipped off in 2020 that the restaurant's owner was knowingly employing undocumented migrants and others not authorized to work in the U.S. The tipster claimed the owner was also exploiting those same workers, having them work 12-hour-long shifts with no breaks. Homeland Security ordered the restaurant to turn over employment documentation. Agents say 19 employees submitted fake documents, including counterfeit green cards. The raid happened on Friday, and documents noted it was right before the dinner rush when agents believed the majority of workers would be there. All employees were detained to minimize the risk of flight. San Diego City Council member Sean Elo Rivera called it an act of terrorism.
Masked armed troops into a neighborhood with high-grade military weapons for fake papers, the suspicion of fake papers, that is crazy. That is terrorism and that is fascism.
The council member wasn't the only one denouncing the raid. CBS 8's Steve Price will have more on the growing concerns in the community in our next half hour. San Diegans are weighing in on the county's proposed budget for the upcoming fiscal year.
A public hearing was held this morning on the recommended $8.6 billion budget proposal. That's an increase of 1% over last year's budget. The proposal continues to invest in homelessness solutions and behavioral health, with $100 million of new funding for mental health resources. Meanwhile, some proposed cuts would impact pay for some county workers and an adult housing program.
We respectfully request that the board allocate $450,000 to continue this impactful program through June 2026. It is investment in healthcare, in more social connections, and in dignity for older adults.
The revised budget proposal will be released a week from Thursday. A final budget adoption is set for June 24th. Right now, National Cities Council members are holding a public hearing on proposed rules for vacation rentals. The meeting started just a few minutes ago at 6 o'clock. The council is considering application fees and a transient occupancy tax to regulate the rentals. As of now, the city has no regulations on the nearly 200 short-term rentals there. In a previous meeting, residents said the lack of regulations have led to loud parties, a lack of parking, and illicit activity, including prostitution. They're supposed to keep things straight, but newly painted yellow lines on the Mission Beach Boardwalk are turning heads for all the wrong reasons.
CBS 8's Brian White joins us live with what beachgoers and the city of San Diego are saying tonight. Brian.
Yeah, Carlo and Marcella, the yellow center lines were repainted last week, and some people are noticing they're a little wavy in certain spots. Right over here is where some of the paint has been grinded off. Apparently it was so bad here that the city removed 2 of the lines for several blocks, and they're going to repaint them. They were meant to bring order to the boardwalk, but instead the freshly painted yellow lines are causing some double takes.
I see not straight lines. It looks like they did a poor job. That was pretty rushed.
Connor Holmes lives near the boardwalk. He says the idea of lane markers is good, but the execution, not so much.
We live right down the way on Santa Barbara Place, and I came out and down the boardwalk more, the lines get a bit more curvy as you go. It was overdue, but I think they did a poor job with it.
This is a picture from a Reddit post showing how bad some of the curves were after it was painted Friday. The city of San Diego says the wavy striping was the result of faulty equipment that day. A crew removed some of the paint once it dried, but wet weather delayed restriping. The city says they'll repaint this section as soon as conditions allow.
Dude, this is crooked. There's some areas where it just seems like they didn't put as much effort as they could have into painting the lines.
And some say they really depend on these lines.
Like, I can't really go straight on a bike. And like, if I was like going on a bike without a straight line, I'd just be like, woo.
Even with a few curves, some still appreciate the fact that these lines are there at all.
Well, there's a lot of traffic here, especially on the weekends, and to have more clarity about what direction people should be going and where they should be going on the sidewalk, it just makes sense to me.
Meanwhile, Connor's glad they repainted the old faded lines, and he says at least their intent was on the right path.
Step in the right direction, but I don't know, they probably could have done a better job with things.
Carlo and Marcella, we're here by Venice Court, where again the city removed some of the lines here for about 6 blocks so they can repaint them. And I did ask the city what this mistake will cost. When we get that answer, we'll let you know. Reporting live in Mission Beach, Brian White, CBS 8.
Definitely wavy there.
Yeah, some shoddy work for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking, did they do it in the middle of the night and couldn't really see that clearly? Like,
whatever it was, they got to do it again, and that's not free.
An update for you now on a story we first brought to you last night about the lights on the Vermont Street pedestrian bridge connecting University Heights and Hillcrest.
They had not been working since last August, but tonight we're happy to report they're back on. Working for you, we reached out to the city of San Diego. They told us the lights were actually repaired last year, but were knocked out again by vandals. The city says repairs were delayed because of budget constraints and a massive backlog for streetlight repairs. Councilmember Stephen Whitburn's office worked with the city to prioritize getting the lights on the bridge back on. We're told they started working again last night. And remember, if there's something you'd like us to look into, you can email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. You may want to think twice about eating freshwater fish caught here in San Diego County.
A warning from local researchers is still ahead. Plus, your favorite snacks are about to look different as a ban on red dye soon takes effect. But will the change cause a difference in the taste? Our Verify team has that answer.
And the new tool helping first responders get to emergencies faster.
We had a lot of showers and storms that were brewing across Southern California today, mainly north of us. But now that action is starting to make its way towards our county. We'll go ahead and take a look at the radar and the hazards coming up.